The game is Advanced ETO, European Theater of Operations, World War II in Europe. And I am currently soloing this game. It continues to be my favorite, really my favorite game in general, for especially strategic operational. I've never found one that kind of mirrors the feeling of the World War II as far as the different countries and what they were facing, decisions they had to make. And this game is currently in the August of 1940 turn. We come down to the turn here, and we've just completed the strategic warfare phase. And as you can see, there's only one U-boat chit in the North Atlantic Ocean. You can see all the convoy escorts up here. And there's another chit that was over here off of Iceland. Germany currently is short of not too many U-boat chits in the force pool. And since it is a you get twice the economic loss since it's a happy time rolls in 1940. The Germans decided to stay, even though that U-boat chit is damaged. They decided to stay there because they just too much of a chance to try to get some EPs taken away from Britain. And last quarter, they had very good strategic warfare, nice rolls. They took a lot of points away. This quarter, they are not having very good luck. And of course, when we rolled on here, it was probably a 50-50 chance, and that 50-50 chance turned into a destruction of that U-boat. So there was no strategic point loss there. And in fact, this one off Iceland also rolled, even though there was only one escort from those planes. I had to roll a 2 for that U-boat chit to be damaged, and of course I did. And so now there was no economic warfare loss for August from U-boat chits. In fact, the only loss for the British came from the commerce raiders that are sitting here kind of off the Caribbean. And then there's some more that are down off of the coast of Africa and in the South Atlantic Ocean. That's really the only thing that took away some economic warfare points. There was both some night bombing by a couple chits, both Germany and Britain. Again, Germany caused no losses. Britain did take, I think, like 3 economic points away. They did cause a little damage. And then over here, Britain also had a sub that was off the coast of Sweden in the summer months here, trying to interdict the iron ore route. And they did some nice damage with the roll in here. So the strategic warfare phase here was definitely a place where the British kind of shined this time. You can see out of the 2 months so far here, July and August, they've only had a 5-point loss for Britain. So that's really going to help the British come next unit purchase phase at the end of September. So currently we're in the naval air phase, and you can kind of see where the British fleet is kind of concentrated off of Scapa Flow. They got a couple cruisers over here off of Iceland as potential interceptors if there's any commerce raiders going on. The Germans are sitting here with 2 pocket battleships off of Trondheim. The Admiral Hipper's there damaged, just waiting. It's going to try to make its way down to Kiel for repairs. And then in the port of Kiel off here, we see the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, the Blücher and the Prinz Eugen, some subs. The Germans will see if they want to do some commerce raiding, or if they're actually going to be sitting here maybe trying to trick the British, or actually maybe make a sea lion invasion, because now you can see where France has fallen in June and July of 1940. And you can see most of the Luftwaffe is off the coast of Belgium and France. A lot of Me-109s in here, not too many bombers, but a lot of fighters. And you can see the British aren't too bad a shape, but they are outnumbered with the 109. So we'll see if they're able to hold them off if we have an air battle of Britain, which I think we will. In July, the Germans did try to do some bombing. They were trying to take out some radar sites. The British really didn't react at all, but the German bombing was so poor they caused no damage. So that's kind of the situation off of here. You can see the Germans have some shipping potential that they could use for an amphibious invasion, but time will tell if that will actually occur. Then we move on down to the Med, and in here, the Italians joined in July of 1940. Once Vichy France had been declared, the British actually had to retreat down through the port of Marseille out into the Mediterranean. And now that fleet is congregated in Gibraltar, but you can see there's a damaged armored unit and an infantry chit. And they actually had to retreat, so the British had to send a convoy up there, and that's when the Italians joined in. They were able to send out some planes, and they sank the cruiser Berwick. And then there was a running battle off of Corsica. The Italian subs tried to intercept, but none of them made contact. But an Italian task force ended up intercepting. And in a running battle, the British Valiant was damaged, as you can see there. A couple destroyer chits were also damaged, but the Italians suffered some heavier losses. They had a battleship also, the Vittorio Veneto was damaged, 2 destroyer chits damaged, a couple of cruisers also damaged. Some losses that will cause some repair time that may come back to haunt them. They also then tried to invade Gibraltar. So you can see there was a major fleet off of Taranto and off of Naples yet. And they actually invaded Malta. They eliminated the air power on there, but the British held on and they actually repelled that invasion. And so now you can kind of see that the Germans have brought in a little help. There's an airborne division in Sicily, Panzer division that is sitting at Taranto. They may have another go at trying to take Gibraltar. Meanwhile, the Italians did reinforce down at Tobruk, brought in some mechanized units. The British here have a fair fleet off of Alexandria, a little air power, not a lot of troops. They've been moving an infantry division closer to Tobruk here to try to hold off in case the Italians make any offensive moves. Meanwhile, off of down here in South Africa, the British, since the Med ended up being kind of closed off, they're shipping an armored division all the way around and is currently off of South Africa. It'll make its way to Alexandria this upcoming month, and you can see that there's a force of cruisers and light cruisers that are off there to try to intercept those commerce raiders taken there. And so now that's kind of the situation of we're looking at in August of 1940. Off the Eastern Front, the Russians ended up taking over Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania, but they have not moved into Bessarabia yet. The Germans have kind of, after the fall of France, reinforced into Poland, moved a couple air units here. Right now things are very quiet on the Eastern Front. They did fight the Winter War, and so they have taken the Karelian Isthmus, etc. The Russians did, and up at Petsamo, but that's kind of the situation, and this kind of just gives you an update on what I'm doing in my latest soloing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.